Hey everyone, I'm Tydrain, and today I will be reviewing an anime unlike most of my previous videos, which have been revolving around manga. Now, the anime that I'm going to be reviewing for today is a pretty well-known one, called ReZero. Starting life in another world from zero, I think that's what it's called. And this one is an absolute legendary one by most people's standards. Now, the plot of it is basically pretty simple, or not quite simple, but it's an isekai. That's all you really need to know. It's about the main character, Nazi Subaru, going for a good old walk to the convenience store, steps outside for a bit, looking at the good old 7-Eleven sign, and guess what? He's in another world. So after that happens, he then encounters an elf, or a girl with elf ears, talks with her for a bit, and she just says her name is Satella. And he follows Satella in her weird, magical, furry-looking thing called Puck. Now, after he spends a full day with Satella, they find themselves in a thieves' den, where they search for a little thing called I can't remember what it's called. Insignia, I think it was. But it's basically a thing that signifies that Satella is a upcoming queen. Now, unsuspectedly, they both die. So as Subaru reaches out to grab Satella's hand, he finds himself in front of an apple stand, or appa, which is, Dude Ronnie is probably a very iconic looking fellow because he's got green hair and a tan. He's also buff. And Subaru just spends the entire time wondering what just happened. Didn't I just die? So after racking his brain for, oh god, what the hell just happened, he then sets out to find Satella. Now, after a few more deaths trying to get Satella's thing, her insignia, he eventually runs into her. He runs into her several times, but this one's a good old interaction. And he finds out that her name isn't Satella, but Satella is the name of an evil witch that everybody accuses her of being. Now, eventually, in this particular timeline, I guess, because he's just been dying and then restarting the day at the same point. At this particular time, Subaru keeps on moving forward until he eventually manages to catch the person that is going for the insignia, and he starts a fight with them. Now, eventually, Satella shows up, or the girl formerly called Satella, and tries to help fight with him. After that, the two eventually come close to defeating her. But then things start to get problematic. That's when God of the universe more or less shows up. It's this dude called Reinhardt. The author said that if he were to 1v1 the sun, he would win, which is interesting knowledge. Now, eventually Reinhardt defeats her. Subaru gets a happy ending, doesn't die for a while. And he asks for one thing in return from, Satella. And she just said, and he asked for her name. Her name is Amelia. This is good because she's basically the second most important character of this entire show for me, despite the fact that people say Remens. What are my thoughts on this? Well, it's great. I do love me a little suffering of a main character. Not quite main character. Main character is toxic, but in season 2 they explain why he is. So he's a bad character done good. And overall, it's a great anime. It's probably one of my favorites. I sound such a trash isekai fan, but it's a great anime. I have read a tiny bit of the next few chapters in the web novel, and I've heard and I see it's going to be a great one. My rating, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. it's interesting. I have a lot of love for the main character because there's just something about him that's made to be like relatable to the people that are just kind of yikes. But then they like explain, here's why he's yikes. Well then, that has been my anime review on ReZero. I will see you all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.